I am an only child, and I was born to a two-mom household. My moms wanted to have 4 kids, but they like to joke that I was the medical bill of 4 kids. So I was born with something called VACTERL. It basically means you're missing a bunch of stuff. It's congenital, so they don't know if it's genetic or if it happens in the womb. My bones are always tired from the nothing that I feed them. I'm so sick of starving that I swallow my own feelings. I've always been drawn to music. I was 4 when I wrote my first song called The Pizza Song. It's about pizza. And I really wanted to play piano. And when I was 5, I begged and begged to play. And because of my fingers, and I was so fresh out of having hand surgery, that my moms were really scared that if I started and I couldn't do it, that I would get really discouraged. But then my other mom got me a piano in secret and let me start learning. But I've always been interested more in composing because I think it gives me a way to feel my feelings that I wouldn't normally, put into the world. I don't know how to say this with a smile. It's closing time, and I'm still falling to pieces. I'm tired of acting like it's alright. There are once in a lifetime kinds of bleeding. Of course I'm scared, I'd be lying if I wasn't. They sat me down, said I've got problems by the dozen, drew a map of what they want from me. To cut me open, be light as a feather, break my bones, then put them back together. You'd be asleep, wouldn't feel a thing, but I feel it all. I feel it all. The Moth Story Slam was actually an idea that my physical therapist hatched me because I was telling her about these stories, and she was like, this is crazy. This is good stuff. And she knows I'm a performer and I do music, and she said, have you ever thought about storytelling at the Moth? They do these story slams in Seattle. I am about to be in a story slam, which I just learned was a competition. I did not read the fine print. I have a 5-minute, 40-second story about surgery that I went through technically 19 months, but who's counting ago. And I have my scar out so that people can believe me, because I'm really scared of that. And I've never shared this story that publicly outside of writing music about it. But I am trying to embrace it because my therapist told me this was more, I think, what did she say? It was a better modality than screaming into my pillow at night. So here we go.
And please keep your applause going. Keep it going for Willa.
Sometimes in life you're the fruit, and sometimes in life you're the ninja. And I, for the past 2 years, have been the fruit. I think what I went through is really traumatic, and everyone keeps telling me the fact that you survived should be enough, and it's not for me. It's not enough. I want to express art. I want to tell stories. I want to make people feel less alone because of what I've gone through. I don't think that surviving is a good enough reason to be here. So I hopped on to what would become the weirdest Zoom call of my life. It was a team of surgeons who had a photo pulled up of my insides and then a model of what they wanted to do to my insides. They proposed a jejunal interposition, which, if you're unfamiliar, I was, is where they take a portion of your jejunum, which is your small intestines, right around here, and they pull it up and they make it your esophagus. Later that day, we're in the car. The head surgeon calls me. He goes, hey, Willa, we have a spot on Tuesday of next week. I highly suggest you take it. And I said, and I quote, but I'm going to be in Vegas with my boyfriend. Because I was going to be in Vegas with my boyfriend. And he says, well, Vegas can wait. And he kept saying over and over again, I don't have a crystal ball, but I think you need to take this chance. You need to have this surgery. 6 days and a will later, I did go to Vegas. I make it straight from the roulette table to the operating table. And 2 months after that, I asked him, I said, hey, I know you said you didn't have a crystal ball, but we're in the future now. What did you mean when you said I should take the slot? And he said, we couldn't prove it until we went in and removed your tissue, but you were dying from the inside out. And if you had waited till January, you wouldn't have been here. My boyfriend and I just finally moved in together. We met in college, and he was a grade below me, and so he had a year to finish, and then he was gonna move to Seattle. And like within 3 months of him moving to Seattle, I had to move back to Boston to have surgery. And I told him, I was like, I don't mind if you leave. Like, I will not think you're a dick. It's a perfectly reasonable thing to have happen. Like, we had been together when the first surgery happened, I think about 4 months. And I was like, this to me is a love that could go forever. But also I understand that rarely are breakups about love, they're usually circumstance. And I knew my circumstance was about to be insane and I couldn't predict what was gonna happen next. And he ended up visiting me as often as he could. We spent 2 Thanksgivings in the hospital together. There was a night and I had this infection in my chest, and he sat by my bedside the whole night holding my hand and putting peppermint oil to my nose. And I remember that I didn't understand what was happening, and all I was thinking was, now is the time I can get him to listen to Hamilton. Like, I can guilt him. So I made him listen to all of Hamilton. And that night, the children on either side of me in the ICU died. And I didn't know it. And so death like split around me, and I it's a weird feeling. It's survivor's guilt, even though I have nothing to do with any of it. And also, I'm so glad Zach was there. I think he helped keep my spirits up, helped keep me alive. And yeah, we're finally living together, and it's amazing.
I can stand a lot, that's been proven true, but I don't want to keep standing if it's not next to you. Oh, when times turn bare, that's just what they do. But your magic trick is making me feel brand new to this. I'd never met
Listen to Willa's
but
music
I
on Spotify, search for Willa Barnett. Check out Willa's videos on YouTube. And as winner of the Moth Story Slam, Willa will compete in their regional Story Slam later this year. Stay tuned for details.